Hello everyone, it's Steven from Legendary Garage Sale Finds. I know it's been about a month and a half since my last video, but in that time I've been to hundreds, if not millions, of garage sales and estate sales between Texas and Louisiana. So I have footage for my top 3 sales coming up for you shortly, but I wanted to say these sales were awesome not just because I found my top 3 items, comic books, vintage toys, and video games, but they were put on by amazing people who I generally had a great time chatting with, making deals, and picking up some great items along the way. So stick around after the footage and we'll go over all the great things I picked up at those sales and a few other items I picked up along the way. So if you see anything that I didn't pick up, please leave me a comment, let me know that I should have picked something up, because in reviewing these footage, I generally see something that I should have gotten. So let me know what y'all think. So let's take a look at those sales.
Break at the top and all that, and then make it a base. I said, I'm gonna go for it. You know, that's like it's your time.
Hey, good morning. I think it's still morning now.
Good morning. Yeah, it's still morning. Is everything in here, or is it just...
Well, it's really up to the owner, and if you want to give her a price, then you
Okay.
just let her know what you see. And
I see tapes and stuff over here.
yeah, you can go through those.
Okay.
See something you want?
Yeah.
I mean, Ruth is.
Okay.
Yeah. See what you got.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Enter with caution.
Okay, no problem. It looks like it's been sitting here for a while.
Yeah, it's been.
That's cool.
So yeah, let me move that dolly too. That
Looks like you got some
there's
old
some CDs.
CDs and discs, all kinds of stuff here.
Yeah, so if you don't mind the spider webs and the,
No, I don't really. I dig through this kind of stuff all the time.
okay, amazing. Yeah, you do your thing.
I see. There's some gaming discs.
And yeah, you.
Oh,
if
wow.
You want to put a pile together or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
We're with him.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you got some game discs in here that I'd be interested in. I'll see if they want to sell. All they need is a good dusting and they'll be fine.
Oh yeah, get a little.
Yep. Better. Massive fit. Battlefield Hardline, never heard of that game. Can you make a little pile somewhere, man?
Yeah, dude. Look. I guess I should. I'm just getting all this together.
Oh, I got you, man.
I've been working online on it.
Yeah.
Just set it here, man. Set
Okay.
it just kind of in the center of the table there.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
I'm trying to straighten up. Oh, this is really cool.
I haven't seen one of these spinner things in a
But
long
that one
time.
doesn't spin. I'm gonna put it on something here in a minute. But look at these here. But dude, these are just the comics that I recently pulled out of.
Yeah.
Of my storage. I've got probably 15 times as many.
Really?
And these are all 70s and 80s penthouse stuff here too.
Oh, nice.
That magazine is thick.
Yeah. Oh, this is really neat.
Oh, this is really cool.
You got a set price on your books, man?
It just kind of depends on what you pull out of there, man. I
Okay.
was really wanting to sell this whole thing
Oh, yeah?
as like
A bundle?
because I wasn't trying to sit nickel and dime with people over comic books.
Yeah.
There's too many good ones in here. If you see something you like, man, just let me know. I'll do my best to figure something out for you because I'm just trying to move them. I want
I got
somebody
you.
else enjoying them, dude.
I got you. Beavis and Butthead.
Oh yeah, man. There's a bunch of those. That's one of the ones that I was that I pulled out to go get graded. That card in there.
Yeah. I hadn't seen it with the
Is,
card before.
I put the card in there. I got that at a convention at Texas A&M.
Oh, yeah?
Lucifer. Yeah, back when I was probably 93, 94.
AggieCon?
Yeah.
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 My parents live in College Station.
Oh yeah, I grew up out there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I went to high school in Bryan.
Brian High?
Yeah, and I went to elementary school in Bryan.
Which one? Crockett?
No, I went to Navarro.
I went to
And,
Crockett.
and then I went to, okay.
Yeah.
How old are you?
40.
Damn, bro, we're at the same age, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
was.
41. But I went from Navarro to Sam Rayburn.
Mm.
And then I got thrown out of school and I went to North Zulch.
I don't know.
I sent to North Zulch, almost in Madisonville. and then I went to Lamar.
I remember Lamar. You know, my parents moved us across town to College Station after third grade, so I
Lucifer,
finished up school in College Station.
go down. Right on, right on. Yeah, we used to cause as much trouble in College Station as we could. A bunch of little skaters from Bryan.
You know they opened up a huge skate park in Bryan now.
Really?
Yeah. Shoot. Where that old lake off of. What the hell's the name of that road? Villa Maria.
I was about to say Villa Maria. Over by Hastings, where Hastings used to be?
Down the road.
Texas Avenue?
Yeah. Well, a little bit further towards the
train tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
The golf course.
yeah. They cleared it all away. They're
okay.
making a theater,
Right
skate
on.
park, and all this stuff out there now.
Yeah, I get over there every now and then, man. I still got my brother lives over there. He got a ranch out in Hearn. And,
Nice, man. I just came back from there yesterday.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's I love that place, man.
Oh, nice.
It was a strange place to grow up.
Tell me about it. And you said there was Legos somewhere too?
Nose bends.
So that's this is where I'll
Oh wow.
They're still sleeping?
so I can open up the other one,
Uh-huh.
but it looks just like this.
Whoa.
It doesn't have, not all of them have the manuals. Yeah, feel free to pull them out.
Uh-huh.
Wow. So some of these are completed sets. Well, I should say some of them are almost built sets like
Yeah.
this, but not all of them are.
Let me make sure I got enough. We do 50 for these two bins?
We can do that.
Yeah, okay. I'm more inclined to these two. I'm just not the figures I would like in here. There's a bag of Hot Wheels in here, I think. Let me see. I'm not a Hot Wheels person, but
It's fine. I'll take it out. I'll take it out.
yeah, I'd do 50 for these two.
Okay.
I'll get these. I used to have this Millennium Falcon. This is the 90s one. Yeah, that takes me back. Got it for Christmas in the 90s. Still got his lights on there. Nice.
Man, I love seeing the joy in your face.
No, I like finding this stuff at garage sales, man. And I'm glad.
I hear you. I hear you.
Here we have all the items I picked up at the garage sales, plus a few extra items. Now at that first sale, you saw me putting together a stack of video games. I ended up with 29 PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. Up here we have the titles that didn't have cases. Battlefield 4, Fallout 3, Demon's Souls, Black Ops 2, and Alpha Protocol. Now, I originally went to this sale looking for comic books that were advertised, but the nice little old lady, whose name I forget unfortunately, told me they were unable to find them at the start of the sale. So I was kind of bummed about that, but she gave me a great deal on the stack of games, which she only asked for $20. Given that the Afro Samurai is worth way more than that, I'm definitely keeping this game. I know it doesn't have the best gameplay, but I'm a huge fan of Afro Samurai. I'm keeping this one and adding most of the other titles to my video game trade pile. Now, I didn't get this particular sale recorded, but I did pick up a backwards compatible PS3. Tested it out, works just fine, and the best part was they only wanted $50 for it. Given that these models can go upwards of 200, I thought that was an amazing deal. At another sale, I picked up this PSP. I have to get a charger for it, but it did work at the sale, but the battery has died, so I got to look online for that. It'd be great to have a PSP for testing out my games. Now, I just picked this up this past weekend. I often heard it said, you never pass up media. And that is so true on media you hardly see, and that is definitely horror VHS, especially the original releases. So from 1989, we have the original Child's Play VHS. The sleeve is in a little bit beat up condition, but given that it is upwards of 30 years old, it's not too bad a shape. And I believe I picked this up for $1 at a sale. It just sold within the past hour of this filming for $30. So don't avoid media, especially media you don't see too often. You never know how rare it is. Now my second sale, hosted by a really amazing guy who just happened to be named Conan. It was my first sale on one of my return trips back to Louisiana, and I saw his ad for vintage comics. I didn't expect there to be a whole table of video games, but I had to pick up this N64. It came with this nice green controller, memory card there, Rush. I cleaned it up and it turned out pretty good. Got a little label scratch right there in the back. But the reason I picked it up for the $65 price was this. It has an expansion pack. And given that these go for almost $50 by itself, it was a no-brainer to put together this bundle. So I'm really happy to pick up this particular find. I said I was going to pick up the next N64 I found as long as it had that in it. That way you can play the more RAM intensive games like my all-time favorite, Perfect Dark. And what drew me to his sale was, of course, you saw in the footage, that spinner of comic books. Now, he originally wanted to sell the whole thing, spinner and comics together, I believe for like $300, but I could no way fit that kind of spinner in my place, and majority of the comic books I wasn't really interested in, but he did tell me that you find something you want, we'll make a deal. So these are the ones I ended up picking up. Let's see here. There's two in here. Got Spectacular Spider-Man 200 and Web of Spider-Man 100 for Spider Armor. In a beat up shape there, but I had to pick it up. It's a nice, fine foil shiny covers from the 90s. Now, what were the coincidences? I would buy Conan books from a guy named Conan, but he had this Savage Sword. Actually, I think it might be Conan Saga, still in the original wrap baggie that you pick it up from the store. So I couldn't turn that down. I have a lot of Savage Swords, but I don't have too many of the Conan Sagas. And there were a lot of nice 70s Bronze era books mixed in on that spinner, which Conan explained to me were probably from his dad's collection. Now, I hope in the future to do more business with him because he had a storage, which he said he had a lot more comic books in. So I'm hoping there will be a lot more of these 70s books. So this is just a taste of what I hope to pick out later. We have The Invaders, issue 1. Issue 3. Nice Namor and Captain America cover on there. Got some more Conan. 218. Pretty rough shape, but it was good to find some later Conan. $2.39. The Handbook to the Conan Universe. Nice cover on there. Now some of the more nice spectacular ones. We have Captain America 120. Nice cover on there. Amazing Spider-Man 113. It's got a stain here on the side, but still I think it presents pretty well. And we talked about it in the video a little bit, but Tomb of Dracula 17. He said this is one of his earliest books he remembers reading from his dad's collection, which got him into comic collecting. But he was a little hesitant on selling it, but he was in the place where he wanted to pass things on to people who would enjoy them. So I was really happy that I was able to put together this little stack. But here is pretty much what I picked up from him in 64, Rush, and I had 2 PS games which unfortunately didn't work, so I didn't bring them out. He gave me this particular bundle for $120. In the comments, let me know what you think of that particular deal, how good I did on it, but I'm really happy to have met the Conan guy, and we exchanged info because we had a pretty nice chat and learned that we grew up in the same little town in Texas, probably went to the same comic book store. So a good tip, once you build like great rapport with people, great people that you want to buy from at the sales, it's good to stay in touch. So that way, whenever he comes around to finding more books, hopefully they'll give you a call. So you have first choice and other great books. Okay, you guys, now we're going to go on to a few more other things picked up. Okay, everybody, at the last sale, you saw me pick up 2 totes of random 90s toys. The sale was put on by a pretty nice guy named Elliot and his family. We were trying to move some things, and I immediately gravitated toward these tubs once I saw what kind of toys they were filled with. So he was a little bit younger than I was, and he grew up in the mid to late 90s. So most of these are the Star Wars line from the 90s up to the episode 1. I believe under the Millennium Falcon we have a Snow Speeder, X-Wing, Naboo Fighter, I think a TIE Fighter down there, and Jabba. And the Millennium Falcon is full of figures. Haven't tested out the lights, but I'm gonna get to that. In this one we have pretty much a vast assortment of randomness. Got a bag of Bionicles, a Pod Racer, Exo Squad, mini Gundam figures. This one's pretty cool. I might keep this one. This Micro Machines Death Star set actually goes for about $25, so right there alone I might pay for the whole bin. And randomly enough, there were a few horseshoes down the bottom of it. Now, although he said it didn't have many games, I also came across this N64 jumper pack. Not sure if it's worth anything. I also haven't tested it out. But in the footage, you might have seen me looking at those 2 massive tubs of Legos. Now, he told me he was a Star Wars / Lego kid. And from that huge Lego collection, I could believe it. So I could tell he was a little hesitant on selling his Legos. He said if he didn't get the right price from them, he was just going to keep them for his kids. I threw out a number before I left, and he said he would think about it and call me back with a counter offer. But unfortunately, he did not. So I think he made the right decision and going to keep them for his kids, because with that collection, you're pretty much setting them up for life, because they have so many pieces to choose from. I've never seen so many Legos in one place before, but I knew there would have been a lot more than I could have handled. So I wish Elliot well with all his Lego adventures in the future with his kids, but it was still an amazing find with what I picked up. I bought these 2 totes for about $50. I think I had $50 worth of fun just digging through them, just seeing what I got. because when you pick up lots like this, you just never know what you're going to find. I believe the strangest thing I think I found in this one was a Tupperware measuring cup. But it still was amazing time. I'm sorry the footage was a little foggy in the beginning, but it was a hot, humid morning. But it was my first sale of the day, and I think it was a pretty amazing score. So thanks again, Elliot. Okay, everybody, so the last thing I wanted to talk about was an experience I had in an estate sale just this past week. A company I hadn't dealt with before advertised that they had a box of vintage comic books at this particular estate sale. And from what I could see in the pictures, they probably were from their early 70s, but the ones in the pictures looked like they were in rough shape. But given that the sale was only 25 minutes away, I thought I would give it a shot. So I arrived relatively early and got a number that allowed me to be in the first group of 15 to go into the house. So I was fully committed to recording this particular sale. I had my camera on, and then they called my number. I hit the top button on my GoPro, which is the record button. But unfortunately, my GoPro was in camera mode, so it took one picture, and I was in too much of a rush to beat everybody to the books. I didn't verify that it was recording. So the one picture I did get was of the person walking in front of me, and I also took a picture with my phone of the books that I left behind to give you all a good idea of what I was dealing with, because number one, the books were in a lot rougher shape than I expected. They were also labeled by, I believe, the original owner with an R on most of the covers in big black letters, which I'll show you here in a second. And number three, I'm not sure how the company had priced them, but they were all over the place. And that was working against me and for me at the end, which I'll show you. So I ended up picking up 4 books, and just to give you another sense of the kind of amateur nature of this estate sale company, because I don't think they've ever worked with comic books before, but they also put the price tag of each book on the book itself. Not on a plastic bag or something with a label, but a sticker on the cover of each book. So yeah, it was a lot, but I still came away with 4 books, which I was happy to pick up. But I did leave many behind that I would have been semi-interested in if they had not put the sticker on the book themselves. So first up, from 1967, we have Thor 137. Coverless, of course. I really like the artwork with Sif and Thor, so I decided to pick this one up. But there you can see the price tag is on the book. Next up, I had a little take back when I first saw this, and you might as well too when I turn this around, given that I knew what it was from the first page. This might look kind of familiar to everybody, but it is the first page of the origin of Spider-Man, which almost led me to believe that might have been, excuse me, a little choked up just thinking about it, a coverless Amazing Fantasy 15. But alas, it is not. It is way thicker than that book is, and the rest of the book is a retelling of the origins of Spider-Man, the Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, and Sergeant Fury, which identified this book to me as a coverless Marvel Tales #1. Now, unfortunately, it is not complete. For some reason, the Hulk story has been ripped out of it, but it was still awesome to find, I think. It was something I immediately gravitated when I saw this, and I thought I had a gold mine for a second, because I believe a coverless Amazing Fantasy 15 sells for about $6 grand if it's in good shape. But alas, I'll take the Marvel Tales #1 for a pretty decent price, even though it is on the book itself. Next up is a book I already own, but when I saw it, I just couldn't leave it behind. Now, I talked about this character a lot on my channel already, and that, of course, is of the Cheyenne Protector of the Western Plains, Red Wolf, #1. Here you can see the R's that were on this book and most of the other books. I'm not sure if this really meant he liked this particular comic book, because it's the only one that has 2 R's on it. But I just couldn't leave it behind, because I think in this rather short run of a series, this was the best book in the series. I believe also #2 was in there, but it had a detached cover with that in the R and the price tag on the book. I didn't think it was worth the $8 they were asking for that particular issue. Now, in the picture, which I can put up here again, there were a lot of books that were just, in my opinion, a little bit too pricey, given the state they're in, given the R on the cover, and on top of that, the sticker on the front, because I might have been interested in the Amazing Spotlight with Werewolf by Night. I believe it was issue 3 or 4, but they wanted close to $50 for it, and I just couldn't have done that. But on the other hand, there were a few books, this one in particular, that, given the price on it and all its imperfection, I just still decided to pick up. And let me know down in the comments if you would have got this book too. Let me know what you think. I'm not gonna mess with the price tag on it. Maybe somebody out there might know a surefire way, which I doubt there is, of getting these price tags off these old books without damaging it, but I don't know if I'd risk it any other way. But here we have one of the most pivotal Marvel horror stories, in my opinion. It says amazing cover. It is The Tomb of Dracula #1, branded with a little extra R here. I think in pretty decent shape. It has some few spine tick issues on it that breaks the red, unfortunately. But for the price, I decided to pick it up, of course. I can see it really well. In my opinion, one of the best books they had in there, key-wise. Now, I looked over all of the other books, and there was just a mass assortment of like Dell, old Charleston stories, a lot of other westerns, and Red Wolf. But I think the few horror books that I did see, I think this was one of the better ones. I believe they did have the line of the series that the first Swamp Thing would have been in, but they just didn't have that issue. But in the comments, let me know what you think of this Tomb of Dracula #1. And I don't know if you have been adding them all up with me, but I did get these 4 books for $25. So I did think and consider going back to the sale on their half day off to see if they had any books left, but given the shape that the remaining ones were in when I saw them, I decided against it. I, in my opinion, got the books I wanted. The other series, I weren't just too interested in them. If there had been a more Amazing Spider-Man, Iron Man, Fantastic Four, which I didn't see any of it, I definitely would have probably gone back for books from the 60s, even with the price tag on there. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed all these pickups from this pretty crazy summer. Let me know which is your favorite. Let me know what you think of the deals I made. But I wanted to say thanks again to Elliot and Conan. Thank you, bros. They made those particular sales quite memorable. So until next time, I hope you like, and please comment below. Thanks for watching.